please allow me to introduce to you the one you've known for all these years, your Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Black Plague.
The Black Swan. Karl Popper originated it. The idea that if you assert that all swans are white, you only need to show one black swan to debunk that as a claim. Now, in the case of our
Black Swan, if P, then Q. Not Q, therefore not P.
we show that where you would assert way called Earth curve, we can show that the hill that's supposed to be in the way of a set of oil rigs
Not Q.
isn't in the way of it. It's behind it. It's behind it.
Not Q, therefore not P.
Hill in the way called Earth curve.
Not Q, therefore not P. Therefore not P. Not P.
So based on that premise, demonstrated in the image we call
Black Swan.
we form a logical consistency argument.
Modus tollens. Holy shnikes. This is gonna leave a mark.
If the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles,
If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, P,
then every distance to horizon measurement,
then any horizon
as made by
distance
each
measurement
one of
must
those
be
buildings, could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of
must
the
be
observer's height in
no
feet.
more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height.
As laid down
Here.
in the begging
Then
the
any
question,
horizon
proof of
distance
nothing,
measurement
perspective
must be
hijacking Earth curve calculations. Then every you would distance use to to make horizon that measurement. Meanwhile, in the Black Swan image, the horizon's behind the things that's supposed to be blocked by it.
Not Q,
Ergo, Earth has no Earth curve.
not Q,
The horizon's behind the things that's supposed to be blocked by it.
not Q,
Then every distance to horizon measurement.
not Q. Why? Because the horizon distance was greater than
The horizon's
9.41
behind
miles.
the things that's supposed to be blocked by it.
Not Q,
Ergo, Earth has no Earth curve edge horizon in the form of,
not Q, therefore not P.
and the Earth is not a sphere.
Therefore not P. The Earth is not a sphere.
Earth has no Earth curve edge horizon in the form of,
Therefore not P.
and the Earth is not a sphere.
If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, P. Therefore not P. The Earth is not a sphere.
If the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles,
Therefore not P.
and the Earth is not a sphere.
Therefore not P. The Earth is not a sphere.
The Black Swan.
If P, then Q. Not Q, therefore not P.
Because that's what physical bridges that obscure fire hydrants do. Yeah, they don't do that.
No reason, no logic, no wisdom, no
Demonstrably not blowing up to vast times bigger than you'd have to have. Yeah, they don't do that.
no reason,
Yeah, they don't do that.
no logic,
Yeah, they don't do
no
that.
answers
Yeah, they don't do
to
that.
questions.
Yeah, they don't do that.
You're just on your own.
Here is the final kill shot.
You only need to show one black swan to debunk that as a claim.
So that's debunked.
Then every distance to horizon measurement.
So that's debunked.
Ergo, Earth has no Earth curve.
So that's debunked. Therefore not P. The Earth is not a sphere. So that's debunked.
Because physical hills don't do that. And if you're saying there's a physical hill blocking boats and buildings, we debunked it in 2020.
So that's debunked.
I thank you.
It is with a mix of bewilderment and intrigue that I...
There you go. And wait a minute, I'm going to have to do all of this. Good Friday to everyone. And there's not many people here at the minute. Let me sort these things out. Good Friday. It's weird, isn't it? Here we go. Let me get the Discord sound on here. Are we on? How's that? Can everybody hear that from Good day, everyone. I think we're live on Discord now. We're going to be, we're going over, obviously, the failings of flat Earth. We keep getting tied to flat Earth, but I mean, that couldn't be further from the truth, right? There is a truth that we did have our beginnings in coming together in these arenas, right? I mean, where does everybody get and come to talk? Where does everybody meet each other? They're in these Discord rooms. That's where we met. I think most people started off at 24/7. That seems to be one of the first places. I mean, back in the day, that was what you did. You got interested. I got called a child abuser, right? So I wanted to be able to go and talk to these people. They were on Twitter. You can't, back in that day, you couldn't talk to anybody on Twitter. So you wanted to be able to actually ask them questions and go in and meet people and talk to people about these sort of things. So I think I remember ages ago finding that these people were like Fight the Flat Earth, right? He was the one that called me a child abuser. So where'd you go and find him? You couldn't just sort of hit a button and, go and be able to talk to him. He was baiting people onto his YouTube channel where he got a load of, he got super chats. He got paid for calling people names. And foolishly, if you ever go against anyone like that, you become a flat earther. But I mean, I was never a flat earther. He called me a child abuser. So I came to Google flat Earth like most people do, and it showed up with the Flat Earth Society. I don't know if anybody's ever been over there. That's a fucking strange place, like a really strange place. And then the next one after that was 24/7 Flat Earth Discord, and you could just hit a button and hear the stream live on YouTube. It's like the top of the thing. And then when you find out, you could go there and actually talk to them. So that's obviously the main place. I mean, it was a big channel when we first went over there. There was, I think they were getting hit by trolls and raids and all sorts of stuff. They used to have people making their name, just going in there, trolling them. I think that's all the people have ever done, really. I think that's what it's about. But we're going over the 24/7 tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, but the thing is, there are people, genuine people, that are looking for answers to things, and they get sucked in, because that happened to me.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened to me, right? You just Google it and go there. But that was like the first place that you could ever go to just talk to people. Now, back in that day, I wasn't used to going and talking to anyone. I'd just gone through my life doing whatever, right? Talking to your mates and going out to the pub and all of that. But once you reach a certain age, then like it was a new journey going onto the internet. It must be different for kids nowadays. But that's what I did. It was basically my first experience of joining a group of people to talk about anything.
It's funny because I never found 24/7 early on when I was trying to ask questions like, hey, what's this? What's that? It was science versus pseudoscience.
Yeah.
That was my first, like, because I was like you, I'm hearing all this information. It's like, well, I want to ask some questions. Like, I want to actually understand something. Like, why are they saying these things? Why would you say that? Like, and you on live shows or even after show streams, I'm not naming names, but you really can't. Like, once you ask a question, it's almost like, boom, you got to be on your heels. There's no, honest discussion, really.
Yeah,
guard down discussion.
There's it's strange, isn't it? It's a strange arena really when. Because you come into this and you're thinking, well, I don't know anything. Nobody's ever taught anything about any of this in school, right? So you become an adult and then you find out about this and you think, wow, that's fucking weird. Are you sure? So I'll have to go in there and start asking questions. I mean, it's not many people do that.
Spot on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was like a little bit after, because I can remember them actually making that Discord. I mean, I think that was. Would I be right in saying, Emma, that was?
That after like you guys left 24/7 when they made that?
No, I don't know. I think it was about at this similar sort of time, wasn't it? When when they made the second 24/7, when they got it flipped, I think. It was like about that time.
No, because I do remember hearing Chocolate say something 2.0 or something.
Yeah, Nathan was a bit behind with the Discord.
Well, I can remember talking to Sleeping Warrior, right? Because initially, my thing was when we first met there, I was getting my lad and we had a camera and we were just going and talking to people, and we got in with the Bedford thing. So we got to go to Bedford level, sit in the dinghy, and my lad got his first chance to use his camera was in that dinghy doing Robotham. And then I can remember us talking to the guys in Discord in the drive home and Sleeping Warrior being in there. And I think we were saying at that sort of time that Nathan should open up the Discord, because it would have been a thing for Nathan Oakley to do, right? Nathan Oakley was the big name. 24/7 was the Discord that got all of the trolls and everything, but Nathan Oakley was the name for Flat Earth. So they made that Discord about the same time that there was some pretty weird business going on when they were swapping the ownership of Discord 24/7, and they made 2.0. And then QE and Nathan did that other server. Well, Shrinks, was it? I don't remember. But a few of the 24/7 guys helped out of making that Discord, because obviously they've got more experience in making the Discord. It was a similar thing with Ranty, wasn't it? Everybody, like, making a Discord is something, I don't know, anyone can do it. But there are a few pitfalls, particularly within this arena, that you have to
overcome.
Can I just go back to the so when 24/7 changed to 24/7 2.0, one of the people that were involved in that was Riggs. Do you remember that?
Well, I can't remember that much. I can remember what's his face. I can't even remember the names. I'm no good at names.
Riggs,
but the guy had the ice wall.
Yeah, but I'm sure Riggs was another person who was applied for the ownership as well, but just missed it by a few days. So it's interesting to see how Riggs kind of he went behind the admin's back as well, which is the funny thing, because everybody had a big falling out about it, and now Riggs is still part of the top, notch of 24/7. So it seems like you can do something like that and try and take ownership of the server, and you can still be a mod. You can still be part of 24/7. It's all great. It's all forgiven. But then look at the little tiny things that you'll get banned for, kicked for, they'll talk shit about you, that kind of thing. But you can try and steal the server, and it's all good. They're all best mates. It's almost like everybody really knew what was going on, and it was a big act of, the server got taken over, we've got to make a new one. I don't know even to this day how much of that was actually genuine, how much was just a show for everyone. while they, switched up the ownership.
Yeah.
You got to be a dude, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a few things that, like it's like a wipe, isn't it? Where they burn everything and just start afresh because they can leave a load of stuff behind. Certain people ended up with the positions, but I mean, I can remember back in that day, like when there was a little bit of a beef, obviously. Emma has a story to tell, which nobody really seems to be bothered about. Because, I mean, I would say, within all of this, I could call me being in like a haze as I'm going through all of this, but I was never a flat earther. I was just curious about why people wanted to call me a child abuser. I had my proofs, my understanding and my way of doing things. And, I came into it, but I met Emma, and it was it was a strange relationship, really, because the moment I seemed to meet people, then everything seems to change. It's really fucking weird. Must happen to everybody, though, right? You make connections in life, and I know that some certain things have changed me. One of the things that started it all was Fight the Flat Earth calling me a child abuser. But then to actually go into that arena and get involved in all of the things, right? I only went there because we had the footage for Bedford. Now, one of those things, the footage, was that obviously we found out that Robotham was lying. He didn't see the boat. Now,
that's because you guys went, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a little bit before I came around, and I remember you showing us the
footage,
and videos and stuff. Yeah.
So, in a way, that was where I first started, and these guys weren't really interested. We saw the Selenian eclipse as we were sat in that 24/7 group. We showed Karen B, and Karen B said, yeah, it works on the globe. And I thought, oh yeah, okay, but I mean, are you bothered about actually seeing it? And no, they weren't bothered about it at all. The only person I think was bothered about anything was Ranty. He asked could he show the Fata Morgana, but then, I mean, that was it. Only got showed once. Nobody really bothered about it. It's not like it's anything special. It's only something that you'll ever probably see once in your lifetime. True natural phenomena. But yeah, it was drama pretty much all the way. I think this whole arena is built on drama, and it's drama manufactured by a certain group of people. And if you've been in this arena for long enough, you know most of the people that are in it. You've seen their names. You've probably talked to them. Most of them are the ones that pop up to sort of kill conversations. Hear it all the time, and they've been around to kill conversations, to stop the actual conversations that should be happening within this arena. Emma, how could you explain, like the amount of drama and the stuff that goes on in the back room? Because I mean, I don't think I ever experienced it that much.
It's always going on. So 24/7, I mean, most Discord servers, the admin and the mods have like a private room. That's quite normal, so that you can talk about things without, the rest of the Discord server seeing it, especially about mod issues, that kind of thing. But with 24/7, it's, how can I put it? It's kind of like a cross between a dating site, drunk person's kind of like let out, all of the mods and the admin would go in there and talk shit about the people that couldn't see the room. So anyone apart from the mods, if you were in that room and you annoyed them, they might have been lovely to your face, but they went straight to that room and they were talking all sorts of shite about people. And it was everybody. I don't think that they liked anybody. And then there's all sorts I could say, but the main thing was there was a lot of photos being passed around of women and that kind of thing, and encouragement of the women to post photos, and some of the mods had a tendency to save those photos for their own personal collections, that kind of thing. So lots of things went on behind the scenes.
People being naive, right?
Yes.
Because I think I would have to be into that as well. Because you do get into certain things, don't you? And, if you're not used to it, and you're not used to the games that people play.
Oh, excuse me.
In this, it becomes a lot. And, I wasn't really involved in any of that. But you were. Or you got to see a lot more of it.
Unfortunately, yes. I mean, I don't think anybody cares at this point what happened. Lots of people know about it. It's like, the stuff that was said about Lisbeth by Flatzoid.
Yeah.
I've had worse than that said and done to me. Nobody cared.
Wait, what did Flatzoid say about Lisbeth? I wasn't.
Oh, no. Did you miss that?
Yeah.
Something about her being the town bicycle.
What?
304.
That's the only reason.
Flatzoid's a Christian. He wouldn't accuse somebody of that.
Yeah, that's why. That was when he was Flatzoid, and pretty much when he got called on it, he decided to be Krillity. Yeah,
Krillity
changes. Krillity saves.
Krillity saves, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, it happens to women in this arena all the time. Not just me. I'm not just, a lonely story where I had some people be nasty to me and I'm still whinging on about it. I've moved on. I really don't care. But what I do care about is that it just carries on and on and on. It's to say every woman that comes into this arena gets completely shat on and manipulated and that kind of thing. Even if they don't see it to start with, they will.
Yeah. Yeah, see,
Can I just say, I've got to apologise because my sinuses have just gone haywire. So I'm coughing and spluttering all over.
That's okay. Everybody forgive you. Yeah, not saying that nobody's moaning about this, right? But you have to be aware that this arena is the attitudes and the opinions that people have within this arena are all made up by, I don't know, the impression that other people give other people. And I don't know, most of this is that we've built up if anybody's ever been round here, they know what it's like in this. This is on the level. We have a Discord and we've had this Discord for ages. There are other Discords and we have heard that, people don't like most of the other Discords. They're not they're not like Discord because of the way people get treated in Discords. One of them being how Nathan Oakley shows everyone, I'm guessing, what Discord is like. But that he's talking about 24/7. He goes there to do, well, I don't know. I mean, is that what is allowed? Is that what 24/7 has always been? Can you remember those times, Emma? I think, like, when I think back to the Discord of, old, it was a dark, dingy place. Like a dark club where you had to go and just try and talk to people. But don't know. Maybe that's just the internet. Maybe that's what it's like nowadays. You have to thinking about it now, and the way we're talking about, going into the cave. Perhaps that's what I was doing. Who knows? Finding your footing. I always said that I was learning to find the grammar and the rhetoric within this arena, and it's took me a while. Well, I mean, I don't know. So this is a free-for-all Friday. If anybody does want to come, I'm gonna play a clip from 24/7. We're gonna be talking about this. I don't know how long we're gonna go on for. But just to let people know, like, we're here to have conversations. Now, there's a lot of people out there that do seem to have opinions of us, and they have made these opinions and they deem it not worth talking to us. Yet they do still talk shit about us, but they never want to come and actually talk to us, which is, I find, a very strange thing.
They're also hearing things from, like, almost like Chinese whispers. Okay, so me and Bev have got a really bad reputation with 24/7. We are the worst people. They don't very often mention my name because they try and forget I exist. But Bev, I mean, they will do and say anything to just not get anybody to talk to him. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
I think back in the day, the anti-flat earther name was made because of us. Because, I mean, they didn't want to call us globers. So, they invented this thing, anti-flat earther. But turns out now that wasn't quite good enough. And you'll hear, what these flat earthers have segregated all of the groups.
Anti-flat earther is just another word for you're not part of our little club of, like, sort of niche flat earthers that think they own the whole subject, apparently, and you must stick to the script. Oh, and the script also is none of their own work. It's all taken off lots of other people, academics, that kind of thing. Not one of them has gone out and done anything themselves. It's just recite the script. Thank you. If you don't, you're an anti-flat earther.
Yeah, sort of in the way that the globers have this. If you don't think it's globe, you're a flat earther. And if you question the flat earth, then you're a glober, right? But it can't work like that, because we were pointing out a false dichotomy that led within this arena. So they had to invent anti-flat earthers for some reason. But, I mean, that's furthest from the truth. We've never been anti-flat earthers. We're just here for conversation. We'll question anyone.
I kind of am anti-flat earther now.
Yeah. I mean, they've made us into anti-flat earthers, right? Because they're ridiculous.
Much. Yeah.
But that's their own fault, right? I mean, I'm still not anti-flat earth to anybody who's willing to talk. But, most of these people, if you ask questions, you're a flat earther. Not if you ask flat earthers questions, you're not a flat earther. Like, you hear Nathan Oakley? You ask Nathan Oakley a question or anything, I mean, he starts screaming at you that you're a glober. All of the names that they have been saying. So, I mean, you know, Nathan Oakley's been over there. He's calling people names, and he overstepped the mark today. But, I mean, he's been calling people names. Yeah, Thomas V. Thomas says, especially if you question the globe. Well, I mean, what happens if you question the globe and the flat earthers? Well, where do they put you? They put you in this bracket of anti-flat earthers. Because the globers will still call you a flat earther, but the flat earthers call you anti-flat earthers. So there's like this limbo area in the middle. Like, you want to get into the into my stream if you want to hear the.
Yep.
This is 24/7 Flat Earth Discord over at Politics, the place where Nathan Oakley got banned from earlier today. And this is them just having a chat, because they do a 24-hour stream, much like we are now from Discord, talking. But I mean, they ban a lot of people, and this is. Let me just check. Is this? I don't know whether you need to see.
Yeah,
it.
Good point. I agree with you.
Can you hear that? Is that working?
Yes.
Yeah, it's working.
Although, if I remember correctly, that guy that I banned is actually a non-glober, non-flat earther, true earther. I'm a truthier than truth earther.
You banned
Who knows what the heck he's on about?
Right. So AI has banned somebody for being a true earther or a true truthier. So you hear that this guy who's over there in a flat earth thing where they invite people to come and ask them questions has banned somebody for being a truthier than truth flat earth, but you know, obviously not a glober. So they're banning people for having different ideas, I guess. And this meant to be a free marketplace of ideas where you're meant to be able to come and converse with people. I mean, this place that we're in here is called the Symposium. And that comes from ancient Greece, where people just talked, debated, conversed. Rusted Soul says in the chat, I was blackballed from the FE community, FE core community, and banned from 24/7 back in 2017 to 18. They don't like people who point out contradictions or grifts. Yeah. There's lots of us, I'm pretty sure, Rusted Soul. Pretty sure there is loads of people just like us, right? But it doesn't just stop there, because they have a way of teaming up together with people to push you further out, to make communities even smaller. Turns out that, you know, there's got to be loads of these. I've always said there's probably got to be loads of these communities all over the place. People that have been pushed out, people that get bad-mouthed, and obviously if you get bad-mouthed by that group, then people don't bother coming and talking to you. Particularly in this arena, because it's a very niche little group. But I mean, let's listen to this.
No. Dude, you don't know the. Well, don't get me wrong. He might call himself a true earther.
This is AI.
I'm talking about like the Bevite styles, if you know what I'm talking about.
I hear that a lot. I don't know what the differentiation of a Bevite compared to anyone else is.
Well, here, let me break it down.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so,
right, so here we go. This is a Bevite. Now, a Bevite really is just somebody who asks questions of people, mainly because we've got some really good questions and we make arguments, and they're that good that they can't really be rebutted or anything. You know, we expose flaws and weaknesses and these contradictions that Rusted Soul's talking about. That's what we do. But they've made this group called Bevites. Now, I'm Bev. But there's no such thing as a Bevite. I mean, these guys, literally, what they are doing by doing this is segregating people off into little groups, which is called bigotry. Literally. These guys are making groups to single the people out that they want to place in these groups, to sort of slur them. Right? And that's bigotry. And it's known in this arena, right? Because the Globe guys, they are bigoted towards the Flat Earthers. They call Flat Earthers names or whatever. The Flat Earthers, they're bigoted towards the Globe Earthers. But what these guys have had to do, these are the Flat Earthers, they've made a special little group. And they're not the only ones. The Globe guys have made a special little group too. So they're all singling every other group out, but they're secretly working together. That's a really weird thing. The 24/7 Flat Earth group and McToon, they'll pretend that they're not working together, but they are, because they've got the same thing. They've made this group called Bevites. And what Bevites are is people who ask people questions. And we don't give a shit who you are, what your idea or what your cosmology is or whatever. We'll ask you questions. But this is how they deal with it. There's a guy there who doesn't even know who it is. He's heard them talking about this group of people, but he doesn't know. And he's going to be told now, he's going to be shown the shadows of a Bevite built up by 24/7.
Yeah.
And
well, can I also point out that one of the main speakers is Crit. And Crit, back when we were part of 24/7, was not included in the group. They used to ban him, kick him, talk all sorts of crap about him. They didn't like him. They used to make fun of him. So now, everyone in this arena has probably come across Crit. Not a nice guy. But he's done something to get to the top of 24/7.
Yeah.
So just bear that in mind.
Yeah, to take it, the Crit is the one that banned Nathan Oakley from the 24/7 politics thing today. So Crit, back in the day when we first started, he was a known troll. That was what he did. But he was everywhere. He'd go and talk to everyone to fit in. So you can imagine that these little whispers have been generated by people like Crit. When they do this sort of thing. AI was over there as well, wasn't he? AI. So these people have known us for 5 or 6 years, from right at the beginning, whenever they were.
So you got people who think the Earth is, say, Del. We probably haven't heard of Del yet. The upward moving Earth, that pizza planet going upwards in space.
A pizza planet going upwards in space. I think Del would have a few words to say to Crit about, if you want to talk about misrepresentation, that's number one that Crit's doing. He's laying these shadows down for this guy.
Then you've got people who are infinite planers. Then you've got people who think the Earth is like the realm, like a realm earther.
A realm earther.
And then what do you mean by that?
I've never heard of any of these things. I don't know where Crit decides that they're coming from. And what you will notice is Crit is the flat earther in the 24/7 group. He'll never tell you what he is, but he's good at handing out labels and groups to other people for these ideas. I mean, he was talking to this guy. So he's the expert, Crit.
What do you mean by realm?
Well, I'm just going through the different categories. We can dive into them later on. Then you've got people who have ether cosmology, and they have recently adopted into a true Earth as their moniker. Then you've got the quadpodal, or they call extraplanar.
Are all of these Bevites?
No, Bevites have their own thing. That's why we call them Bevites.
Yeah, but what distinguishes a Bevite?
Bevites are called true globers.
Now he's obviously done that. What do you think about that, Omnivore? Bevites are the true globers. Does that sound like something that you've ever heard of before?
I probably wouldn't have used that term, but
But that's what Crit's doing. This is what Crit.
My opinion of Crit is one of the lower ones. So
yeah, but I mean, he's over there on this channel. He's on there like near 24/7, right? He's there all the time talking to these people. So he's the one that's telling everybody about the Bevites, true globers, and he's casting all of these shadows.
I mean, it would not surprise me if Crit is a vengeful, angry guy. So.
Yeah, but I mean, he doesn't seem to put himself in any of these groups, does he?
I don't know.
It's weird, isn't it?
I think he identifies as a flat earther.
When? He's never said anything. What have you ever heard him say? Literally, you've got to be careful when you do this sort of stuff, because Crit's good at casting shadows. And he's good at diverting conversation. He'll never answer anything about himself, ever. These guys say they want to entertain debate, but they won't. They ask you a question. No matter if you start off asking them a question, they'll return it and ask you a question, and then end up muting you because you've not given the correct answer that they're after or whatever.
Well, yes, they're incredibly fragile, and Crit is one of the most fragile in my experience.
Yeah.
Which is why we don't... I've rarely had a chance to talk to him. He, when he talked to me, he was just stuck in a loop repeating the same thing over and over, and I was like, well, okay.
He's Crit is, without doubt, one of the 3 most vile people I've ever come across. There's a couple of Globers and Crit, and they're just on another level of trolling. They become vicious, and I had Crit's attention for quite a while a few years ago. He made it his personal mission to go after me, my looks, everything about me, really badly. And I've only a couple of times have I had that level of abuse in this whole arena. Most of the time, it's just silly little comments, but he was awful. And so for him to now be telling people that they're, trolls and muting them because he doesn't like what they have to say, and I just find it highly ironic.
Well, just so you know, I trigger him instantly and badly, so... Every time he encounters me, he would, if he doesn't have mod powers, he'll go on mute and deafen, and then come back off to scream at me, and then go back on mute and deafen.
Yeah, there's one of his memes where he teamed together with the trolls. That was a long time ago, that.
Does he actually know how to meme? Because that doesn't actually make sense.
I think we got that from Ranties. That's how long ago that was.
That's a lot. Okay, long time ago. Maybe he's improved. Don't know.
Right, okay, let's prove more of this.
Take kind of like both sides and smash it into this weird amalgamation where they can't answer anything because there isn't any answer to these questions. It's supposed to be like the Earth is too big and too it's too is too vast that there's no ever way of really knowing what you are on or you're not on.
You'll know them for being hyper specific about.
No, the thing is that, you know, I've said I only live in the UK, little tiny island. I don't have that much money, so I can't go travelling the world. I haven't got a clue. There's so many places I haven't been to that I'm not willing to talk about. So, but that's just me, not a group of people that Crit's trying to talk about.
About everything. The Earth's not flat because there's waves and stuff. There's trees. It can't be flat.
Yeah, they got this
well,
concept
if you don't define
about
flat. That doesn't seem like the craziest thing to say.
It's not a crazy.
Yeah, well, it's not just that.
The problem is.
So if you're talking about the Earth, why would you talk about waves? What a dickhead. But this is the flat earthers, right? They imagine that the Earth can't be flat because of waves.
One of the most
waves of the water
statements.
Yeah.
One of the most nonsensical statements is fixing to come up, I think, in just the next few seconds. Like highly oxymoronic. Topographical plane. I've laughed. I've had to laugh about it, but they take it on. Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
It's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Is Rich? We've told them multiple times that it's planar with topography. Yes, but you say it's flat.
It's. They say it's a flat Earth, right?
They do say it's flat. They call it flat Earth. Every single time you talk to a flat earthers, they go, haha, it's flat. Haha, it's flat. Flat comes up.
Measured flat.
All the bloody time. So for them to turn around and say that, unbelievable. Like, you're just talking out your ass.
It's been a hilarious journey. Like, the stuff we've had to, like, delve into just to answer questions for ourselves when people say these things. And it led us down a philosophy path. And, like, the philosophers have seen all of these, well, in different, areas, whatever, things play out. And like the one thing that we've been on was the Wittgenstein, and it was the language games. It's like they say it's flat. I'm a flat earther, which is a nonsensical term too, just as bad as topographical plane. But then they follow it up with, what we mean.
Yeah.
It's just
and when you say
games.
I don't actually, it doesn't seem to make any sense.
Yeah, well, it's a plane with topography, and it's like, yeah, but those are two different things. You're conflating, but they don't get it. It's just a ECV, I guess.
Yeah.
Just like veiling themselves to the, moronic nature of the things they're saying.
Yeah, they say, well, it's not a globe, and you go, well, what's a globe? Like, nobody knows what a globe is. Nobody knows what a globe is, and nobody knows what flat Earth is. So you can't really say denying one of them leads you to the other, because they're both nonsense. That you can't really make any sense out of any of it. So asking questions leads you into this position here. And like we say, the topographic plane is that's an oxymoron, right? It's a 2D 3D, which doesn't make any sense. What you have to get used to is in this entire arena there's like a trick that goes on with the use of words, and if you're not used to using words correctly, you can be fooled quite easily and led into conversations that don't really seem to make sense. And that's why most people, I think, are in this arena for so long, because they're trying to make sense of it. But it takes you a while to realise it's actual nonsense. You can't make sense of it, because there's no sense there to be made. We'll play it again.
And you'll notice they've all got this, I don't know, like they're all dwarves or some shit, squeaky little accent, and it fucking annoys the shit out of most of us.
Yeah.
It's like they all were bred out of one little room, and they've
I don't like annoying answers either in Matrix.
Right, so they've all got annoying accents. I mean, this is true bigotry. everybody's got, you know, like all of these Bevites, which is ridiculous. People that ask questions. I mean, I've heard them call somebody a Bevite who I don't even know, just for asking a question. That I'm pretty sure some of the questions that we ask, and you know, some of those things, they've got to be there for everybody. It doesn't take a special person to be able to ask a question of somebody, especially if it's right there, right in front of you. So obvious. But you sort of have to lift the veil of the nonsense first before you can then start asking these questions. And these guys, they're gatekeeping. They're gatekeeping questions.
Say again?
I don't like annoying accents either.
Yeah, you'll get used to it. Nice try.
Yeah, it's like the Yorkshire, the Yorkshire accent.
Like, really? The Yorkshire accent? I'm a Lancashire lad, and there's no Yorkshire accent. So, crit. Like, come on, man up. Let's have a conversation. You don't need to be doing this sort of shit. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one of them was asked one day to please define flat then. And what he actually came out with was there's these things called optic flats, which are pieces of glass that get machined down to be nigh on perfect.
He only knows about optical flats because I told them about them. They're for actually measuring gauge blocks when you actually do want to measure flatness. And it's optical. Like I said to him, when he said there, somebody was asked to define flat, and I did. A visual surface condition.
Yeah, but why is he asking you to define flat? They claim it's flat.
Yeah. Yeah, well, AI wanted to debate, didn't he? Because he hadn't come up with a definition of what flat is. And then they ban us because they can't have I mean, who's going to debate a flat earther on the definition of flat? Rusted soul, huh? Every category of FE filled with gatekeepers are people too scared to speak out. Yeah, we know that. But not just flat earth. It's this whole arena. It's a false dichotomy. And I don't know whether people don't actually want to know about, you know, what they claim to want to know about. I'm happy. I literally have found a proof in reality, and I'm good with that. And it's pretty obvious because we've been telling people, like, we've got the test. It's there. Anyone can do it. Anyone can come and go over it with us. You don't need to write it out in a PDF. Come over and we'll work through it, because then we can both learn about how to communicate, how these proofs, these mathematical proofs work from the mathematical understanding, the logic, and the implementation of that into reality. I mean, that's what we've been doing. Nobody doesn't really want to talk about it other than when they're talking shit about it, so people don't come round and talk.
And these things are only, probably about 2 inches across. They're not that big. And, yeah, that was his definition of flat. So that's why I asked him, are you running around with these optic flats testing everything then?
I did tell him flat is a visual surface condition. And just as you can know what flat is, it comes in handy because you know what flat isn't. And like I told them, once you know what flat is, you can look at a mountain and say, that's not flat. And that seems to be where it breaks down with flat earthers, because pointing at mountains and telling them that mountains aren't flat seems to cause some sort of a brain aneurysm or whatever. I don't know. But they go mental.
Yeah, but I think it's because they've latched on to a phrase. And I think the person that coined it even said mountains are measured flat.
Yeah.
And then the problem escalates from there.
Yeah, Nathan Oakley said Al-Biruni measured the mountain flat, which I don't know what that means. It sounds fucking crazy. I got it recorded when I heard him say it. It's that memorable. I thought that's ridiculous. I do have a few conversations that we're probably going to have to go over. But since the flat Earth is dying, and Will Duffy's done a marvellous job, I was applauding it, right? Because now eventually we'll be able to talk about reality and the tests that we do in reality, and knowing that it's not flat, then we can get over it. But I mean, obviously, people like Crit and all of those sort of people, they're not going to want to know about any tests that we do in reality or whatever. They're too busy segregating people into little groups and being bigots. So this is the impression that I get of flat Earth, and I imagine this is what Jaron opened his eyes to the moment he went and saw the sun circles. He said he saw the sun circles, and then these people go crazy on him. But except they're not really going to bother about Jared. They're still talking about people like Bevites and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the problem is if you use a high-powered enough microscope, then that surface wouldn't be, fitting their ideal definition of flat anyway. So,
it's true.
According to them, there's no structure that can exist that can be defined as flat because they're using the idealistic definition. And
see, that's AI overlord bullshitting, because obviously, if you get something that is flat, then you would have to say that is flat. A portion of it, I don't know, but definitely not the Earth. That's the point. There could possibly be a flat, and there possibly is something that is flat. How big an area it is, I don't know. But there definitely is a flat somewhere. Maybe multiples of them. But not the Earth. AI. If you do want to have a conversation about it, AI, if you're out there listening, don't just sit in your little room. Come and have a conversation, right? I notice you've unbanned us, so we can go over there and have that conversation. But, as an adult,
making that fit all terms that use the word flat, which, by the way, is a fallacy, because flat has different definitions for different contexts.
Yeah, they even had.
I thought you guys didn't know that words had multiple definitions. That's surprising.
They also have a problem.
Wow, bro.
There's also the problem they have because a flat tire, they couldn't describe a flat tire because they tried to describe it like it's lacking air. There's no air, or they couldn't really go. See, they're a lot. Okay, let me.
Don't know what Crit's doing here. He's flapping in some sort of a way, but this is what flat earthers do tend to do. Rather than actually concentrating on what they're dealing with, they talk about like this about other people, but they'll do it with globers, and they'll do it with flat earthers, they'll do it with anyone.
Let me break it. This might sound confusing. Their worldview or epistemology is that nothing can be anything. It can only not be something else. And this sounds.
Do you want to hear that again?
Wait.
Yeah.
Yes,
he's doing an epistemology, right?
Yeah, I need to hear that again.
Yeah.
The first bit made me go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
To describe it like it's lacking air. there's no air.
That's a type.
Or they couldn't really go. See, they're a lot. Okay, let me break it. This might sound confusing. Their worldview or epistemology is that nothing can be.
Right, wait a minute. Epistemology, in case you're wondering. The divided line, Plato. You divide the line, left-hand side, ontology. The study object, the study nature of things, right? That's ontology. And the right-hand side is epistemology, which is the study of how we know. So that's what he's talking about, the how we know things.
Hopefully everybody knows what knowing is.
Yeah, knowing. Well, I mean, that's something what we're going to have to delve into anyway, isn't it?
Or they couldn't really go. See, they're a lot. Okay, let me break it. This might sound confusing. Their worldview or epistemology is that nothing can be anything. It can only not be something else.
Nothing can be anything. It can only be not something else. I mean, I have to listen to that again because that's great. That. I mean, this is what you have to deal with in these rooms, right? And what we have to deal with is nonsense. It's sort of like a magic. It has this effect where your brain can't process the nonsense quick enough. And you either have to let it go or question it. And if you question it, then you're probably going to become a bevtard.
That's what I was going to say, was like, if somebody was in there and had stopped him and go, wait, what did you just say? They would have gotten labeled, with what they're talking about, because like there's no way anybody in that room just comprehended what he just said.
Yeah, it's incomprehensible,
they just
right?
let it go.
Nonsense, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we please clip that and have that on our soundboard? That's just a perfect example of just waffle.
Yeah,
just saying words, putting them all together, mashing them together, and they don't actually form any coherent.
Right, well, let me do that because I'll have to get it tomorrow. 10, 17, 22.
It doesn't. He readily does that, Crit. He'll make these grand statements about things, about people, poison the well, and like in this, give this impression of this group of people. I hear him regularly do that whenever they get to talking about somebody says, "Well, I've heard of these Bevites. Who are they?" And he readily jumps in with this whole kind of thing about epistemology.
What he just said is not poison in the well. That's hammered dog shit. What just came out of his mouth.
Yeah. But that's the purpose. It's just to say, something. Yeah, I mean, it's just total bullshit, isn't it? But he wants to give the impression, these people are just thick retards and don't know what the hell they're doing. They haven't got a clue about anything. Don't even know a tire is flat.
Yeah, and he wants to give and he wants to give the impression that he knows all about us. Like he's the expert. He'll be able to tell you exactly what we're like, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean that AI, he's got a video where he spoke to Bev about it's about a bit like, if I gave you a job in a factory and you had to like quality control, and I said, I'm making these things and they're flat, but I want you to chuck out anything that's not flat, and then Bev would throw everything away, and he sort of this is his big win that he claims, how he crushed everybody. But if you were in the factory and you got to make this product, then it'd have a tolerance about how it should be made. If it didn't meet the tolerance because the machine wasn't set right,
I don't think they're going to use. They're not going to use the term flat either to describe. It's they're going to use proper terms for grown-ups.
Yeah, well, that's what they were using, but he spreads it around, drops this. This is where I crushed them, and it's just for nonsense, ridiculous. But they readily want to create this image of this group of people who are kind of a bit unhinged and crazy kind of thing. They're not in touch with any reality. They're the mad people, that's how he kind of wants to give this impression of anybody who's under the banner of Bevite. And as Bev said, there are people who are. It has become anybody who might just say horizontal or what do you mean you measured the Earth flat? Just anybody, they immediately come under the Bevite banner, and people they've never heard of before and who they claim to hang about over here at OTL. You think, well, I don't know who they're talking about. Yeah, but they are very. It seems to be much more apparent about where their areas of non-engagement are. Becomes quite obvious. You push against something. There's a certain area that all the gates close. You get silence banned, muted or whatever, or 5 or 6 people jump on you and say you're talking total rubbish and turn it upside down to what you said. They'll say it was opposite. Or just some people who, I don't know, I think they're probably drunk, most of them, just say nonsense, to try and throw you off. It's a really strange world.
Well, it's not just sort of like Bevites, right? I mean, that's the thing. But they'll attack anyone. They'll have some way to have a go at just about everyone. Because the people that are in there, they've been in there all the time. There's a little cliquey group, of which Crit has managed to find himself in the centre of. And since Crit was a troll to start off with, it's like the troll king.
It's the dude bros, man. I'm telling you.
I don't know how much more of this is.
This might sound confusing. Their worldview or epistemology is that nothing can be anything. It can only not be something else.
Nothing can be anything. It can only not be something else. Now, what the fuck is that?
I don't know how he got his own brain to make
his own epistemology.
Honestly, I can't fathom the brain wave that you would have to be in to make that come out of your mouth. Like that's insane.
That's what he's telling somebody else is our epistemology.
I can't imagine coming up with that sort of word salad out of my mouth. Like that is
once more, because I will have to get this.
This might sound confusing. Their worldview or epistemology is that nothing can be anything. It can only not be something else. And this sounds confusing, but I'm saying like right now, I'm drinking.
That sounds confusing. No shit.
When you say it, Crit, it definitely sounds confusing.
I mean, I've heard it 4 times now, and it still doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever.
That's what I was saying. I can't imagine where his brain was to even like. I want to hope that was scripted, and somewhere in the back channel he was sitting there by himself, and he was like, "All right, I'm writing this out."
Yeah, he's gone over that, right?
Sure,
he's mulled that over in his head for I don't know how long. I mean, he's possibly mad, right? Because that can only come from the brain of a mad person, can't it?
Yeah, wrote a song about that.
Yeah. Right, and let's see where he goes to.
Worst way to define something.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we call them Bevites.
Like you would define a cat as not a dog.
Yeah, or like right now I'm drinking something, and it's not orange juice.
What?
What the hell is he talking about?
I think he's got like he's heard of the not that. And it's gone to his head, hasn't it? Like he's not fully understood what the not that is.
I think he's probably drinking something a little bit stronger than orange juice to be spouting all this nonsense. Bless him.
Well, I mean, these sort of stuff, right? It can affect you, and if it goes to anyone listening, right? If you don't think you're equipped to it, then don't try and enter this realm with, if you can't cross the bridge, don't assume you've crossed the bridge like Crit has. Just come and have a conversation. Don't shut down the conversation, otherwise you'll never learn and never understand anything. If Crit would have talked to us properly, like he has been in these rooms, he's been sat around listening, but he's never actually had a conversation. He's never been involved in any of the Plato stuff and the philosophy. He's never really been involved in any of the geometry or anything like that. So, it's understandable, but he's talking nonsense. There's a chance that he's already mad, I would say. Model afflicted. Beyond return.
Yeah, vodka.
No, it's just water. But for them, you can't say water, because water isn't water. Water would be...
It seems like a straw man.
What?
Water isn't water. I mean, this is the impression he's giving of us to somebody else.
Water isn't water.
Water isn't water.
I'm not sure we've ever said that. In fact, I'm pretty sure we've never said that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm big on distilled water, so I know what water is, right? And I know what water...
Now, water is definitely not earth. Earth is definitely not water. Those are two different things, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Because they do like to conflate earth with water, don't they?
Well, yeah, but I mean...
Did you just hear the word salad that came out of his mouth a minute ago, Kevin? I mean, you were asking that rhetorically, right?
Yeah, no, I heard it. I heard it.
So, distilling your water, which I would advise everybody to do, I don't think Crit has been doing. But, I mean, if you do distill your water, then you would definitely know what water is, right? You'd be able to point at the distilled water and say, now that's water.
And Crit, I don't believe these people exist.
I'm dead serious. I don't have a link to their server.
Wait.
What
that guy just say? I don't believe those people exist. To which, well, what Crit's going to say now is that we are in a Discord server, but he doesn't want this guy coming over here because we would obviously be able to tell him that Crit was talking a load of shit. Crit doesn't want that. So he's going to say...
Water isn't water. Water would be...
It seems like a straw man, Crit. I don't believe these people exist.
I'm dead serious. I don't have a link to their server. They banned...
These guys are legends.
Are you talking about the land of misfits?
Everyone. No, we're talking about on the level, the Bevite server, bro.
Okay, yeah, I've never been there. Haven't heard of it.
Yeah, the land of misfits.
We're not going to give you the link. We're not going to give you the link because we don't want to be accused of war crimes.
Yeah,
I know, but
war crimes. For handing out a Discord server. I mean, it may be a bannable offence over there on the politics.
What sort of war crime? I was going to say, what are we at war? I didn't realise. Jeez.
Well, I did put it in a song, so maybe that's, I don't know.
But I mean, AI, did you hear his mic? Because he was overloading his shitty mic in his car. He was so angry that he wanted to get that out. Just for asking questions and not agreeing with their script. And again, it stems back to the stuff we haven't discussed tonight, but there was a lot of things that happened to me and, and Bev as well because of me. That's why they don't mention me. They don't talk about me, but they're awful to Bev because he was associated with me. And they've twisted it to make Bev the villain when really it should be me that's the villain, but they won't talk about me.
Misogynistic. It opened them up.
I don't care. You got a problem making everything about you. I said I'm not going to give you the link, and you go, I didn't ask for one.
Yeah, I know.
Who
I don't know
cares?
why. I'm not going to give you a link to my server, by the way.
He's so angry, and
Okay,
just
exactly.
listen to that anger.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Anyway,
God, yeah.
Don't make it about yourself.
I'd like to be on your server. I'd like to see what Rich does when it's not flat Earth. That'd be fascinating. Like send me an invite.
Dude, he has pictures of. So when I said Mike Tyson's voice, all he could think of was that thong right before the fight.
I think that's probably it. 24/7 and the Bevites. Like I say, we're here to have those conversations. But if nobody wants to have the conversations, that's fair enough. I mean, we still do have the Realising Euclid Test, which is going to be able to prove the straight line. It's then going to be up to everybody to decide what a straight line is, because it is 2025. There's a lot of people. And there are, obviously, there's learning to be done. Because I think I'm learning more just recently about more about the philosophy, street philosophy, which I know isn't for everyone. And listening to the way people react to people asking questions, then you're going to be in trouble if you ask certain questions. But certain questions are meant to be part of a learning process, and that's normally why I ask questions, because I'm trying to progress into a different part. Nummy Num's in the chat there. It's a good question to ask yourself. It was one of the first questions we asked. What is a straight line? Ask yourself that. Do you know? Do you think you know?
Yeah. We've done multiple times as the 12. Most people don't make it past a straight line. It's like, wow. Amazing.
I was going over, right, because this is where it's going to be, isn't it? I was going over the other day. There's a couple of videos. One of them was where we went to 24/7 in the politics channel, and we were talking to them about a test that was offered to them about a straight line. Bob the science guy offered up modus ponens to the flat earthers. So I went over to 24/7 to offer the flat earthers this thing, because it was privileged stuff, and not many people do logic and arguments, but I found this particular video of Bob making flat earth logic, and I presented it to the flat earthers over at 24/7 to see whether they wanted to take it on. But because they'd never really been taught logic and logic form and how to understand argumentation, they didn't really get a grip on what was being handed to them, what was being shown, because they were so disillusioned with the whole idea of argumentation, because QE had given them a fallacious argument, and he taught them about modus tollens in a very bad way, which has left them not understanding logic or reasoning around logic. Because they're not allowed to ask questions of anyone about these arguments that have been set out by the what is the flat earth shadow giants, and QE still can't talk about it. So who's going to ask QE about arguments, and how do they then learn how to formulate arguments or understand them. But they didn't get what the argument was. They sort of ridiculed us, and then we went to Nathan Oakley to offer Nathan Oakley the same thing. And Nathan Oakley, being a flat earther and being of the way he is, incapable of having a conversation with anybody, jumping to conclusions, making assumptions about things, he ended up calling us names as well. But the argument's still there. It's still been made by Bob the Science Guy. The arguments are there up for discussion. That's the whole point of making an argument, a logical argument, in the form, to make it as easily to understand. People asking themselves about straight, and that's a point, right? You only know what straight is because of your understanding of the things you've been taught, and they are shadows that you pick up from the cave. They're there in your essence, right? They're the building blocks you use to be able to formulate ideas and stuff. Always stuck with me, Buster, when you said, like, who taught you to think?
Yeah.
Well, aren't they the primitive shadows, right? That's what I was talking about. Those shadows that taught you to think, nobody actually taught you them. So you've had to put them there yourself. All of these ideas that, process the ideas. Where did they come from? And are you okay with them? Are you sure they're working correctly?
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I've been on about the whole time, like accepting information. And that's what Aristotle was on about too. I think it was Aristotle, if I get the quote right. Is it intellectual mind or like educated? Sorry, an educated. The true mark of an educated mind is being able to entertain a thought without accepting it, or an idea, entertaining an idea without accepting it.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like that's like, do people know how to entertain a thought without accepting it, or do you just blindly accept anything that just comes across your path? I mean, that's what you have to ask yourself.
Yeah, what do you do with information? Do you store it?
Right,
do you
exactly
get rid of it, dismiss it as false, true, or do you just put it in a bag?
Yeah. I mean, can you say epihe? Does anybody even know what epihe is? I mean, most people don't even know that you can even like say, oh, okay, well, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't think it's for everybody, this thing, right? But I mean, what's coming out of this is that the flat earth is obviously ended, and we can start talking about reality, hopefully. But it seems like the people that are in this particular arena that we've ended up in, they don't particularly like us. And I'm okay with that. Because there's not many people that can have these conversations, and we're good. Like, I wouldn't believe, you couldn't believe how good we are. But I came into this arena to be able to communicate with people, and I still think it's a worthwhile thing, being able to be able to communicate with people. And if it's worthwhile for me and the amount of stuff I've learned and listening to other people as well, I mean, this is worthwhile what we do here, this questioning yourself, because that's what you're doing. People may get upset about questions asked and all of that, but we are questioning each other. It's okay for you to reply a question. to us, we'll answer them. I've been answering questions all the time, and I've been asking questions as well. Certain ones you can't answer, and it's okay to say you can't. But the most important thing is actually having the conversation. It's 2025. AI is taking over. You could probably sit there and talk to AI all day if you wanted to. And it'd tell you everything that you wanted to hear. But for the kids' sake, we need to be able to learn to talk to each other in a way without triggering each other. Just asking simple questions. Having a conversation about something. More than just, you know, what you bought at the shops and shit. Yeah, straight lines. Crazy. What is a straight line? Modern mathematics has changed it. So how do you know what is a straight line anymore? It's 2025. It's getting even worse. Physics is changing also. Quantum state is starting to make an appearance. AI's taking over. You're not even going to need to Google stuff. Google isn't enough. You can actually get AI to answer questions for you. But that's not conversation. That's not actual one-to-one conversation, which is probably what's going to be needed. Yeah. What is a straight line these days? And if you can't even answer that question, then where are you going to be with anything else? Well, that's what everybody's going to have to get used to. What's the use in being in a debate arena, particularly when you're talking about shape, if you don't know what straight is and you can't explain it, because straight's got more than one meaning, which it definitely has in this arena. Madness. I've got a few. So if anybody does want to come into it, we're going to be getting into. We're going back into Plato's cave. We have been doing this in the past. We've been there, but you know, I think it's going to be. We're going back there again because I have a few theories. And I think we need to go over them and talk about them so we can develop a better understanding of what exactly is going on. Because as always, we have been in the idea of knowing. What is knowing? So if anybody does want to come in, it's no good just listening to us in this thing, because I mean I'm just going to have to end up talking, and most people maybe get bored of it. I don't know, but we are going to be going in doing quite a lot of epistemology, and we'll do it much better than Crit does. And we'll try and run people through it. We have developed what we call advanced simplicity. Buster's sung a song. It's been used a couple of times. It is about what we do here is to try and take these concepts and make them as simple as possible. But in order for us to do that, what we need is people to be able to talk to. Particularly people that don't consider themselves mathematicians or philosophers. Because we all have to be a philosopher at some point. I hope, anyway. But anybody that just wants to be able to learn, because the ability of us to be able to communicate these simple concepts in a way that's understandable to people, you know, that's what we want to do. We want to break things down to first principles and start from the bottom, the foundations, and be able to build up. And the more communication we can have, the better that's going to be. People like Crit and AI and Nathan Oakley and whoever else in the arena, they do seem to want to shut down the conversation. There's a few ideas going round at the minute that, you know, they have different ways of shutting down conversation. Mainly it's the shape of the earth way of shutting down conversation. And particularly we're at Good Friday. This is a time for religious people to do whatever. Now, I don't believe that the religious side of anything should be dealing with shape of the earth yet. There does seem to be a growing group of Christians within this arena that seem to have attached cosmology to religion, which I don't know. You'd have to try hard to try and justify that reasoning, because it seems as though it's Christian against Christian. And if anything, if Crit is going to show you anything about how to break up a community into different things, instead of just being able to communicate these different ideas people have through questions and answers and, you know, like putting your case across. If that stops and it turns into people being bigots, then everybody's going to get separated into little groups. And that's all it's ever going to be. The groups that just want to have the drama and do whatever, then that's all that ever's going to happen to them. Whereas I consider what we've done. We've done some amazing things. And we haven't finished yet. Nowhere near.
Maybe in a stream in the future we can do Will Duffy's paradox.
Well, I mean, I've got so much stuff I could be putting together in videos, right? But I'm not so sure whether it's worth it. I've already done it, and it does seem like there's a lot of drama going about at the minute, and you know, there's a lot of division, and I don't think it's needed, and I don't think it's not meant to be divisive. But there are things that we should be pointing out, much like tonight. 24/7. They're not a good group. They're not a good representation of, I don't believe anyway, of the majority of the people in this arena. It just seems like they have the ability to push people out into different areas, like Rusted Soul was saying. I mean, there are small groups of people that have been pushed out of these arenas, and they don't really get a chance to have the say like these guys do, because these are 24/7. They're all over the place. There's big groups, there's rooms of people, and they do this all the time. There's quite a few of these rooms all over the place where people talk about other people, but they never actually go and talk to the other people. Every time I've ever been tried to go out anywhere and talk to people about how we can come together, how we can have a common understanding of certain things, the things that we can agree on, there's always somebody who wants to put division in and wants to upset the apple cart and start, taking over the conversation. Stopping other people from having that conversation where they might have been able to find agreement. Like, I don't know, the guy that Crit was talking to, somebody Evans, we might be able to have a conversation with him, but the well might have been poisoned now.
Yeah.
And he might only want to talk to flat earthers. That might be what he wanted to do. So, he might not want to come over and chat to us. Who knows? But I think like they're going over in the chat there, straight is... It's changed its meaning. It may have had a geometric understanding, but it's now turned into a philosophical straight. It's not geometric anymore. A logical understanding of straight and how you can fit that logical understanding into modern life. Because you're going to have to. Most of this stuff that we're going over now, right? Flat Earth, globe Earth, it's all nonsense. Most of us have got partners or whatever, you have family. And I've heard so many times people that have fallen out over Flat Earth. They've had arguments with family about it. They've been sacked from their jobs because of it. There's no need. There is only one reality. So trying to put this flat versus globe into the obvious reality that we're talking about can only cause division. Because there is only one reality, and if you try and start to separate it into two different groups, then obviously you're going to come into some problems. So I've never understood why anybody wanted to do that to start off with. Let's just talk about what we can do in reality. Let's have a proof. Let's test these things. If you have a contention about it, let's test it together. Let's just do it. Seems a bit difficult. You want to have a song on here? I've been making some songs, so we're gonna have a little bit of a break.
Do the newest one.
The latest one that we just did earlier, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's worth playing, man. It's a good one.
If Buster thinks it's good, then we're gonna play it. Okay. It's called Unmeant Seditions. But I may be changing. It's like literally this has just been done today, so I'll just
it's good.
Yeah. Let me just shut your Discord off so I shouldn't be able to hear you. And here we go.
I didn't mean it. He was sensitive and could not bear a form of ridicule not really there. My voice began to be unsure, it was so quiet. Just a simple mistake, easily made. No, it wasn't fair. Some things just can't be explained as much as you want to know. There's nothing I can do, it's all out of my control. It's so loud, loud. I tell? It was a simple mistake, easily made. No, it wasn't fair. Some things just can't be explained as much as you want to know. There's nothing I can do, it's all some things just can't be explained. Some things just can't be explained as much as you want to know. There's nothing I can do, it's all out of my control. It's so loud, it's so loud, it's so loud. A simple mistake, easily made. No, it wasn't fair.
Right, are we back? There we go. You didn't hear us talking or anything, did you? I hope not. Yeah, that's just one of the songs. I've got loads. I've got far too many actually. I've quite took to it, making music. Yeah, we got the Globe guys in the chat. Whoop whoop, big up. We've been saying that all along, right? Tis Globe. Everybody knows Tis Globe.
Non-geometric.
Yeah, yeah. Non-geometric thinking for the win.
Yeah, like, but that's what they were saying, and then like when you like, or we say non-geometric, then it gets turned into something not what they said, and you know, that's weird. Such a weird arena.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot there's a lot of anti-flat Earth, right? But there's a lot of anti-globe as well. More, in fact, I think more vitriol towards the globe from the flat earthers than there is from the globe. I mean, when I talk like normal globe, right? My missus, my son, right? They're not trying to have a go at flat earthers. They just live in reality, right?
Right.
69 miles per degree is geometric. Well, 69 miles is a distance measurement, right? And a degree is an angular measurement, but how do you relate an angle to a straight line? Not many people know that, do they? Oh, see, Akumu, so 69.8.
Uh-oh. We have contention.
Interesting. How was that measured, Akumu? How do you relate those together? Because we've had a right laugh with asking people that. Mm-hmm. It's not an angle. What, a 1 degree is not an angle. I think you'll find a degree is an angle. It's like 1 degree of it is actually an angle, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of like 45 degrees is an angle.
Yeah. Yeah, any amount of degrees would always be an angle.
Be an angle. I was being facetious.
But the angle and the distance, I mean, how do you relate the two together? It's not something that many people in this arena have ever even considered it. I know.
Don't ask too many questions.
Don't ask a flat earther, that's for sure.
Don't, obviously you can't ask Akumu either.
Well, anyone can say 1 degree for 69 miles, can't they? I mean, but what does it mean? Very, very, very.
Say it. You just say the words angle or, numbers and a degree.
It's not an angle, it's part of a circle.
What the?
That's Akumu. Well done. Well done. Yeah.
Not that.
Yeah.
The degree of a circle.
It's not an angle.
The angle? No, not that. It's just the degree. Sorry.
The division of a circle into pieces
don't do it.
Is normally called an angle, right?
Don't do it.
Particularly from the right angle. Divide the circle into 4, and you would end up with 4 quadrants, 4
Don't start
right
talking
angles.
about diameters and radiuses like that's not what we're talking about. Don't start doing it.
I mean, what makes people do that? Sorry, you're talking about in the chat, if you're just listening. Akumu virus is one of the ones that's been around this arena for a long time, and he's just said that the division of a circle is not an angle.
I think you need to play the song again. No, I'm just joking.
I do have one. I've got one called Straight Line Deniers. It's a little bit different. Oh, look, somebody's put there, yeah, 360 times 69. Wow. That's good. So where's the angle then?
Just have a...
That's impressive. Nice maths. So how does that relate to the 69 miles? Don't ask the flat earthers.
Seems like you can't ask anybody.
You just did the max headroom thing again.
Oh, I did. Sorry. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, what's that? It just did it sort of again then. It's like it's saving the first part of what you say.
That is so weird. Let me just check. I may have like a...
Yeah, we have been asking. Don't ask flat earthers about the relationship between an angle and a distance and how they relate to each other. In fact, don't ask anyone really, because it's something that nobody's really done. Did somebody try to ask Nathan Oakley today as well? I think that's sticking in my head. It's a rate of curve, 69 miles per degree. What?
They are taking tints and threads.
Akumu virus says, right? It's 1/360th of a circle. 69 miles per degree. A rate of curve. Use it to find the radius and circumference. Elderbear, I think you've got a hot mic. Find the radius. So you measure... Can you take us through the process of that Akumu virus? Seems like some sort of a mathematical procedure that I'm not quite with you. A circle is 360 degrees. Yeah, we get that. There's 69 miles between each degree of what? How do you know that? Think about it. I did. I've got a picture. Let me see. I did this one for flat Earth math.
Am I roboting now?
No.
All right.
Has he said where he's measured the angle yet?
It's 69 miles.
Yeah. Lots of people say 60. Of each degree is a circle. What degree of what?
Just 69 miles a degree. Oh.
I've never heard anybody say a degree is not an angle measurement. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he says it's a rate of curve.
How's an angle measurement rate of curve?
Kumu virus. I mean, he's been in this arena for quite a while. It's hardly surprising that nobody wants to answer any questions.
Is he measuring an angle to a star or anything? Is it?
No, he's just saying
flat Earth version
just
or
boom,
what?
69 miles per degree.
All you have to do is say the magic word, 69 miles per degree,
and you can get a radius from that.
What sort of straight line is that? Do you think?
Here we go.
You don't know.
Here we go. Have a look at that, Kumu. See that? There's 30 degrees, 31 degrees, 32 degrees, and then there's 69 miles. That's right, isn't it? That's 69 miles, 1 degree. That's how it works. But you're saying that's the wrong place to put the angle, is it? Because it did sound at Akumu, I don't know, like you're a mathematical wizard. Have you got the 69 miles being the opposite side to the angle? Because that sounds very Ruhif-like. The opposite side angle. Because that shouldn't be. Should it? Can't do it like that. You can't measure an angle and find the opposite side. "69 miles per degree is not an angle measurement. The degree isn't an angle measurement. It's really weird that. I could have sworn it was an angular change of 1 degree. But I mean, I might be mistaken. Go on, explain to us the basics of where it came from, Akumu. If it's per degree, it's in all directions, not angle measurement. What? Man. Are we even, like... No wonder the flat earthers were struggling. Akumu, are you the best that they've got? "90 degrees is the right angle. A straight line is 180 degrees and a full circle is 360 from Midland Tim." Nice. Degree, radians, mins, and secs are all units of a circle. Angles, yeah. People can't really be that far behind in this, can they? If people like Akumu virus are sat in the chat talking shit about what the angle is and what the relationship between the angles is. I think Akumu virus doesn't actually know what the 69 miles and the 1 degree is and the relationship between the two. Can you imagine that? The 1 degree is definitely an angular change. Akumu virus. Definitely. Here's my understanding of Akumu virus, right? That there is a 1 degree angular change to Polaris when you walk north-south, either towards it or away from it. And there is a 1 degree change in the measurement of the angle. I'd say at the same elevation, but other people contest that. They say different things. But I would say you have to stay at the same elevation and measure these angles. And if you were 69 miles, maybe something else, right? Maybe a more accurate measurement. But that's where the angular change occurs within the measurement to the light in the sky and the angular measurement.
Surely he knew that.
I would have thought he should have known that.
I feel like you gave him too much information.
He says it's the rate of curve of the ground. What?
Where did that come from?
Yeah, that's from the angle. Somehow.
Curve from an angle. I don't know. Yeah, hey.
Mm. Yeah.
He said it, so it must be true.
Yeah. Well, that must have been what he's been told, right? Akumu virus has either been told that from a shadow giant, or he's wanting to become the shadow giant, and he's just made it up. Which, I mean, he's right. I mean, he's been in these YouTube chats and talking to people in Discord rooms and stuff, and probably more text chatting and all of that. But, I mean, if he wants to make shit up like that, he can.
Yeah.
Midland Tim is telling Elder Bear, imagine measuring the circumference of a ball with angles to the light in the sky somehow.
What?
Well, I don't know. I mean, no, he's not saying they're measuring it, but he's saying measuring the circumference of a ball. But we're talking about an angular measurement to a light in the sky and a distance where that angle changes by 1 degree.
How do you measure the circumference of something externally of a ball or a circle? I don't know. I'm confused. I thought the whole measuring a circumference of a circle had to do with the diameter or radius.
Well, the circumference comes from the diameter being the 1, and then the circumference would be 3.14, and and the rest, pi, if you will. once you can call the diameter 1. But I mean, the angles and the rate of curvature, I mean, who taught you that, Akumu? Where did you get that from? Was that from a book? Latitude is 69.8 miles per degree on the ground. No angle. The degree is an angle. How can you not see that per degree is an angle? It's not a temperature, is it?
Maybe. Maybe it could.
Sorry, Yakuma, I don't want to... There's a change of 1 degree in the measurement of the angle to the light in the sky. Right? That's where the 1 degree change comes.
But wouldn't that be the question to him? Is what are you, when you say degree, what's your definition of a degree, Akumu? Like, that would be the question. Like, because if we don't know what he's talking about when he says degree.
A degree is a unit of a circle. It's a turn between 2 straight lines. The inclination of 1 straight line to another. That is the definition of a plane rectilinear angle. Yeah, that's what an angle is, Akumu. Tis globe. Yeah, but it's got nothing to do with this. This is an angular measurement to a light in the sky, changing by 1 degree after you move 69 miles. Yeah, come into Discord, Kumu, and But is that not right? Right? Do they not measure a 1 degree change in the angle to the light in the sky, and then notice the difference between the 2 points where the angles were measured is 69 miles? No light in the sky. What? Has this all changed, right? Where does the 1 degree and 69 miles come from then, Akumu?
Just say it, Bev. All you have to do is
just say 1 degree, 69 miles. Boom. There you go.
That's it. Yep. There's no explanation needed. None. Don't even worry about an explanation of where it came from. That's just it.
Yeah. Yeah, stop asking these questions. But that was what I understood about the whole thing, is that you change the angle that you measure to the light in the sky by 1 degree when you travel 69 miles in between here and there.
If somebody tells you something and you are inquisitive about it, and you want to go, hey, I want to do it for myself. No. Nope. Well, how would I do it for myself? I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Do
you not know geometry?
I mean, yeah. Are you that ignorant you can't hear what I'm saying?
Between each degree on the ground is 69.8 miles. Yeah. And the degree change is to the light in the sky. The angle to the light in the sky.
Oh, is this why Sean Hawkins was getting so mad? Because nobody wanted to...
Yeah, his Polaris challenge thing. He didn't... His angles.
Oh, man, Akumu, yeah. Go talk to Sean Hawkins.
Yeah, he'll put you right about how to measure angles to the light in the sky.
Sean must be wrong.
Yeah, we did say we weren't really going to talk to anybody about this. So you're lucky we're talking about this without Sean being here. Shout out Sean Hawkins and the Polaris Challenge. I don't know.
I'm staying with Sean again because Kumu should have taken on Sean's thing, because he has no knowledge, or well, I wouldn't say knowledge. He has no understanding of this.
Bev, I just said away from star declination. Well, I don't know, what does that mean? But that is where the 1 degree and 69 miles comes from, isn't it? He's not explaining star declination. No, I mean, not talking about star declination. We are 1 degree to 69 miles. 1 degree is a degree change to the light in the sky, Polaris, as you walk towards it or away from it. 69 miles, it changes by 1 degree.
Well, how does Akumu do it without doing it to the stars? How is he getting a degree for 69 miles? If it's not a star, then how's he getting it?
He is saying it's on the ground. In between each latitude degree is 69.8 miles. So that is what you're saying.
No question about where the latitude came from?
So it's the measurement of the ground. Yeah, the measurement of the light in the sky. Right, Akumu? That's why they're perpendicular, isn't it? Because you can measure the angle. Latitude is on the ground. Yeah. Well, I think somebody was saying that they were talking... Crit, it was. He said it that... or somebody said it. That he said that the equator was in the sky. But then Nathan Oakley put the latitude 0 at the equator. Focus on the ground. Right, yeah, so the ground is where you measure the angle to the light in the sky. And that's the change that you measure on the ground as the angle changes. Well, you have to, Eric, you have to stand on the ground to measure the angle. Because that's normally one of the best places for you to measure angles to the light in the sky is standing on the ground. Because if you're standing underneath the ground or in a house, then it's pretty hard to actually see the light in the sky. So you have to be stood on the ground outside to be able to measure those angles. You never mentioned an angle between two things. Well, what is an angle? That's what an angle is, isn't it? Between two things. And the change is 1 degree. Oh, I see. We've got Flatsoid's got his guy in sending stuff about Will Duffy. He banned me from Flatsoid's Discord, and now he's coming over here and posting stuff about Will Duffy. Did Flatsoid send you over here? Is it Hellfire or something like that he's called?
Well, they missed the biggest contradiction Will Duffy ever said and totally brushed past them. So anything they have to say or post is, I would say, useless, but
Yeah, Will Duffy's a genius. So it's not surprising that those guys, you know, they're so upset with Will Duffy. Because, I mean, he's destroyed Flat Earth.
He's the Flat Earth Slayer.
Yeah. Because he's even got a different picture, hasn't he? Here you go, there's the proper one. He can't even do fake memes. They're not that good at doing it. So no wonder they're all upset about Will Duffy. I think he might possibly have won the biblical cosmology debate as well the other day. I know the flat earthers are going to think differently. Oh, look, there he is again. He's upset about the... I don't... Do we need him to be... Have we not got a special role for him so he can't post shit? Because, I mean, he was the guy that banned me from Flatzoids. Why should he be able to come over here and do that? No, I'm not too sure I'm happy with that. Have we got a role for him, anyone? Special role for somebody that bans us from Flatzoids Discord. You show us how upset he is with the new astronauts. Jealous, I think, that they haven't been able to do it themselves.
Yeah, I don't know.
Should we just ban him?
I don't see what use he is.
Well, he's in there laughing. We get in sort of controlled opposition. There you go. Wonder why he's around here. I think it's only fair though, right?
Yeah.
We show that people that we are up for conversation, and people that ban us from conversation. Flatzoid even banned us from his YouTube again for the second time, even after I was talking to him, telling him, you know, that we couldn't talk or, you know, what to watch out for, right? I still ended up getting banned again. They're all scared of conversation. Flatzoid, 24/7, Nathan Oakley. I think it's the new Flat Earth way. Hawk Jungle, that's it. Is that Sean Hawkins? Do you reckon?
Surely Sean wouldn't be a mod over at Flatzoids. Who knows? These days.
You get away with all sorts. I mean, he did only get that role because Elderbear didn't want to be the guy to do all of the stuff. God saying they never wanted to talk to you. I know, they've never wanted to talk, have they? It's bad when people want to shut down conversation. And particularly when they make up shit as well at the same time. It makes you wonder why they're here, though, as well, right? He obviously knows. He's listening in. But as banned us from Flatzoid's Discord because they don't want us talking over there, pointing out things. It's not that I do anything nasty. None of us ever do anything like that. They just don't like hearing questions. They don't like hearing things that are said. They don't like, particularly they don't like the idea that they're flat earthers and there's other flat earthers that say things, and, you know, you ask them about it. Like Akumu virus with his 1 degree and 69 miles. He doesn't know where it's come from. It works within the arena if you just keep saying it, though. But the moment you start asking people about them and where does it come from,
questions.
The 1 degree difference comes from an angle to a light in the sky, though, right? Akumu virus. There's very few measurements that can actually be made by people, and this is one of them. The angular change to the light in the sky, Polaris, changes by 1 degree as you travel 69 miles. That's one of the known things that people can do for themselves. If you wanted to verify anything, in reality, you could do that. You have the ability, as far as I know. I don't know anyone that's ever actually done it. You know, the measurement of the 69 miles is the tricky one. I suppose you could trust maps for the distance, but that would rely on you trusting the maps and the distances on maps and the scale for maps. But the 1 degree, you could measure that, definitely. You could measure an angle now. You could go outside and measure an angle to the light in the sky. Akumu virus does know where it come from. Can you verify the 1 degree change for 69 miles? Akumu virus, have you ever done it? That would be the first one. And is that a linear distance? I mean, a linear relationship. Like every 1 degree, is it 69 miles? No change? Always the same? Well, yeah, when I say linear, I mean like a mathematical linear. For every 1 degree change, there is 69 miles. Is that what we're going with? You could mention Eratosthenes at this point, but he's never been popular with flat earthers. Like, who cares about what flat earthers think? And why would you mention Eratosthenes? He did shadows, didn't he? We're talking about Polaris. There's not much of a shadow with Polaris. So what's the use in mentioning Eratosthenes? Despite the fact that, you know, you think that he's never been popular with flat earthers. Is he popular with non-flat earthers? I bet my missus has never heard of him. Not very popular with my missus. It's a linear distance, okay. So every 1 degree Is that to the light in the sky as well? It's a linear relationship to the light in the sky. The rate of curve of a basketball is 0.81 inches per degree. What did you measure that to, Akumu? What was that measured? What was the 1 degree of so many inches? Like, what was that measured to? The circumference. Right. Yeah, but that comes from a circumference. How do you get the circumference? Akumu, how'd you get the circumference? Nice.
Math genius.
I think it's backward engineered, possibly. In Akumu Virus's mind, I reckon we've got a backward engineered 69 miles.
And don't forget, he said that the degree is not an angle.
Yeah, degree's not an angle, apparently. Or the 69.
How you do that, I'm utterly, intrigued.
Yeah, he seems to be relating the basketball and the measurement of the circumference of the basketball. So, can I assume, Akumu Virus, that you think the circumference was measured first? That was the actual measurement that was done, and then it got divided up. Could you, it might have been done that, do you reckon? Somebody walked the equator in a straight line and measured it. Possibly. I can't imagine them. They'd have done it in the sun, wouldn't they? It's much nicer on the equator. You can't go from north-south, could you? That'd be a harrowing journey measuring that. Why does it matter which comes first? For mathematical order, procedure, logic, you don't start with your conclusion within, I say you don't, but I mean, some people might. We did always used to say that, didn't we, Buster?
Yeah.
Start out with what you want to achieve and then find some way to have got there.
So it's called schematizing. But hey, who am I to judge?
Yeah. Hey, I mean, Akumu, you've been in this arena for long enough. We were over at EA trying to talk to them about this as well for 7 hours. And we never came to any conclusion. So I can understand. You know, that's what people have been in this arena for that long. Geometry. Yeah, what geometry, Akumu? Where's your starting point for your geometry? Do you start off with a distance, or do you start off with an angle? What I guess you have to have started off with a distance. I'm guessing it's the same reason that the flat earthers couldn't answer this as well, because something doesn't quite work mathematically. "69 miles to a degree to a light in the sky" will give you something to be able to perform a mathematical equation. But it seems like a Kumu virus has gone backwards. It's gone the other way round. Don't care about history. This is math. Yes, a Kumu virus. You've got it. So how do we get there? Never measured radius. God. Different points. Okumu, right. So can we say that back in the day, they measured 69-mile change north to south when measuring an angle to Polaris? Can we say that is one of the primitive measurements that it is possible to have done? You can get a radius from 69.8 miles per degree. How? Well, what can you do today, Akumu virus? Can you still do that measurement of 69 miles and 1 degree today? Or has the advancements in straight line technology made it a little bit more tricky to be able to do what they did back then, modern day? The advancements in modern mathematics, have they altered it, or can we still measure 69 miles and 1 degree change to the Polaris, the light in the sky? In reality, that's all I'm talking about. Akumu, you seem to be, you're the guy casting shadows, so we're just asking you questions. You're the one that wants to come across as the authority. So is it still possible for us to do that today? Good. And that is a linear relationship occurring all the way from, I don't know where, from 90 to 0? Don't suppose you could do any more than that, could you? Is that a linear relationship from 90 to 0, Akumu? I'm guessing not. I mean, you know. I'll get me thinking. Here, have a look at this. See this picture here. There you go. There you go. That shows 69 miles change and 1 degree. Is that how the angular change is measured and the relationship? Akumu. Linear on a graph. That one there. Like that graph. 69 miles per degree. It goes from 30 to 31 to 32. There is a 1 degree angular difference change over 69 miles on that graph. Is that what we are talking about? Kumu virus. Yeah, I don't think linear means straight. I mean, it's a mathematical linear operation that it occurs all the way from 90 to 0 in the same linear fashion. 69 miles, 1 degree. For each one of the degrees from 90 to 0. Is that what we're talking about? A Kumu virus. If you plot 69 miles per degree on a graph, it's a constant slope. What's a constant slope? The angle? The angle. Yeah, okay. Every degree. That's good. So mathematically, we could do 69 times 90. Sixty-nine equals how about that? 69 times 90 equals 6,210. Quarter of a circle. Shoot. Oh. Okay. So that is that's why the flat earthers get a little bit upset about it, is it, Kumu?
Is he a flat earth sympathizer?
Nah. Why not the whole circle? What? Well, because you lose Polaris at 90 degrees, don't you? At 0, sorry. Because if we're measuring the 1 degree change to Polaris, then obviously 90 is when it's above your head, and at 0 you can't see it. So there is only 90, isn't there? Is that not right? How can you measure an angle to something that you can't see? Yeah, we are. We're measuring a 1 degree angle to Polaris. What else are we going to be measuring the angle to? Where are we measuring the angle? Akumu? There's only a measurement of an angle to the light in the sky. Well, what are you using? Akumu, where are you measuring this angle? Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll have another song while Akumu Virus does a bit of maths. Tries to work out which angle he's using. Another song?
The shadows dance on the cave's old stone. A journey back where we're all alone. Wisdom comes from the dark unknown. Paint no pictures, just let truth be shown. Through the echoes, thoughts will flow. Symbols shatter where we dare to go. Truth ain't wrapped in a silver bow. Seek the depths, not the show. Don't fear the cave, it calls you near. In shadows, the answers start to clear. To unlearn, it's a path we must steer. In the silence, our minds reappear. The wise man knows what he can't see. What's hidden lives in the mystery. In the dark, there's a certain clarity. Lost in shadows lies Epohe. Blank pages we hold as we descend. Through the layers we slowly transcend. Understand, not to comprehend. In the journey, the mind will mend. Don't fear the cave, it calls you near. In shadows, the answers start to clear. To unlearn, it's a path we must steer. In the silence, our minds reappear.
Right, back again. Quick brew. Doing good at that. Yeah. I mean, Akumu, if you want to come in and have a chat about this, right? Come in and have a chat about it. We're not talking about it in the chat. It's not really worth it. But the understanding, what we try and bring to this place is advanced simplicity. So we're talking about the understanding everybody can have of this idea of 69 miles and 1 degree. Now, that's a measurement of an angle to a light in the sky. And you can only do that for, I would say, for 90 degrees, supposedly. I mean, I've never done it myself. Don't know anybody that has ever done it. But it's reported as being an angle measurement to a light in the sky. And from what we've heard since the start of last year, 2024, is that the flat earthers say that all of the measurements that are made are flat earth measurements. So obviously it must have been made by flat earth measurements of angles to a light in the sky. Now, that can happen from 90 to 0. At the idea where it's at 0 angle, that's supposedly called the equator. Now, we can only deal with the people that make the claims. And the people that make the claims at the minute are Nathan Oakley. And he's saying that all of the measurements that went together to make the globe were flat earth measurements. Now, these angles to the light in the sky is obviously, as claimed by the flat earthers, a flat earth measurement. So I'm not having a go at you, Akumu. I mean, I know what you're saying, but you have to go along with us on this one, that apparently these are all flat earth measurements. 90 times 69 seems to be a flat earth measurement, and somehow you've ended up getting a globe out of those flat earth measurements. What do you mean? No, like, we just go along with it, right? It's a flat earth measurement. Is it not? Because that's all we can do, is we can go off the people that make the claims, and then obviously work the mathematics of the people that make the claims to validate their claims, of course. And I would suggest that the reason the flat earthers don't want to talk about it is because they struggle. Well, Akumu, an angle would traditionally be Euclidean geometry. And some people, mainly the globe guys, have jokingly called Euclidean geometry flat earth geometry. So, I mean, maybe that angular measurement is jokingly called a flat earth measurement. Maybe because the flat earthers measure this angle 69 miles. Because all measurements are reportedly flat earth measurements. We can only go off what people say, and if they want to put themselves in the position to become a, shadow caster, hopefully we get a chance to talk to Nathan Oakley about his mathematics and stuff. Really? Where's the curvilinear angle mentioned? Is it in a definition? I can't remember seeing it. It must be in a different book. Suppose if you say so, you're the shadow giant. You're casting those shadows. They must be in there.
Well, somebody said it, so he
Yeah,
gotta say it too.
Akumu virus says it.
Yeah. He's the one saying it now.
Yeah, I mean, Euclidean geometry. I mean, that's pretty... it should be easily citable, right? Here it is. Because it would be really... Can you imagine that? How foolish it would be to cite something within the foundations of mathematics. All modern mathematics is founded in Euclid. And somebody said that there's a... What was it? Even in Euclidean, there exists rectilinear. Obviously, that's the angle that I did. Definition 9. Plane rectilinear angles, and what's that other one? Curvilinear.
Don't do it, Bev. You're gonna lead him into stolen concept.
Yeah, let me see what book he says. Well, remember the rectilinear angle is book 1, definition 9. At least in my book. Maybe you've got a different one. Maybe they've messed the definitions up and put them in different order or something. Added a few new ones. I think he might be looking for quite a while. I don't know where the curves are mentioned. I think there's only one really, isn't there? Circumference. I think that's the only curve that's mentioned. I don't know. He might come up with a new one. I'm not so sure where. A different type of angle. You would have thought it'd be within the angle bit, wouldn't you? Maybe he doesn't quite understand the axiomatic approach. He's going to be looking all night. Don't think he's going to be coming back.
Doubt it.
Sean does look good in that kilt, though. I mean, that's a good picture, that.
Yeah.
You reckon that was before he started making his own guitars? Because, I mean, he doesn't make acoustic guitars, does he?
No. Acoustic guitars are like the pinnacle of making guitars.
Yeah, it's weird that Akumu virus comes in, isn't it? Since all of these measurements were made from a flat Earth, and then they were made into a globe. Nathan Oakley claimed that. So these angles, book 1, definition 8, before the plane rectilinear angle, in an axiomatic approach. Show the angle to curve. No, there's no curves mentioned. That's weird, that, isn't it? How can you have a curvilinear angle before they've mentioned curve? They're all straights up until that point, aren't they? Isn't used directly. Oh, but I mean, so it's not really mentioned, but they've not really been talked about if they're not mentioned, because you can't really talk about them if they're not there. I mean, somebody could talk about it as though they were there when they're not there, but I mean, that wouldn't mean that they were wrote there in it. But I mean, hey, if that's how you choose to do axiomatic mathematical procedures, Akumu virus, then good for you. I mean, totally globe. It is 2025. I mean, people should be able to rewrite the foundations of mathematics for themselves, shouldn't they? And try and pass that on to people as shadow giants. Look at the angles they shows, Bev. I don't think there's any pictures of angles. No. Plane angle is the inclination of two lines to one another in a plane which meet together but are not in the same direction. I'll read that again. A plane angle is the inclination of two lines to one another in a plane which meet together but are not in the same direction. It doesn't mention curve, unfortunately. But I mean, you can imagine it if you want, Akumu. That still doesn't change the fact that we're measuring angles. I take it we're measuring plane rectilinear angles to the light in the sky. And we're imagining we start at 90, I would imagine. Or could you start, I don't know, could you start at 180? Could you? I don't know. Angle CAE is a curve. What? I don't know. I haven't got any pictures in mine. It's a curve. I don't know. It doesn't mention a curve, and there's no pictures in my book, and I can't imagine why it had put a curve before they've defined a curve. But I mean, I suppose you can imagine how an axiomatic approach goes for yourself. But I think I get it that most people will be getting bored about this Akumu virus. Like I say, if you want to come in and have a chat about the foundations of mathematics and what you imagine a curve to be, because it would seem that, you know, they redefine or they further define it into a plane rectilinear angle through the axiomatic approach. But hey. Wow. Right, anyway, enough of this fucking nonsense. If you want to come in and have a chat about it, that'd be great. But really, nobody's interested about angles and your imaginings about how angles are to curves. I mean, Nathan Oakley's been saying this for years. Well, really, after we sort of said to him that an angle's the inclination of a straight line to another straight line. But, you know, jump on the bandwagon, point out that, you require 2 straight lines for an angle. And then obviously there's obfuscators that come around, much like Kumu virus, anybody else. It is 2025 and people are, you know, okay to do whatever they want, right? Everyone knows 'tis globe. And we know that 69 miles to 1 degree. We know that. You've just got to put the mathematical mind together to work it out. Depends how many people are willing to do that. Don't think you understand what we're talking about, Akumu virus. Don't think you're quite understanding what we're saying. We're trying to give people a chance for them to put some pieces together. Now, I know that most people that are watching us, right, like to do these things for themselves. So we like to try and give them the chance to do it for themselves. It seems like people like you, Kumu virus, do like some sort of a reverse gatekeeping thing. It's really weird the way it works. One defends the other, and then they get a little bit triggered and start defending back again, and then people who are left asking questions in the middle of 2 sets of nonsense. Yes, Akumu. Yes, I'm with you. 90 to 0. They are flat earth measurements, aren't they? No. 60 nautical miles is an angle. We know that. You're giving... See, what you're doing here, Akumu virus, right? You're sort of helping gourds be able to sort of not see what we're trying to say, because you've injected a sphere in here, but we're not talking about a sphere. It'll, you know, it'll work itself out eventually when people start putting the pieces together. But this wasn't initially for you, Akumu. You're just getting triggered for the wrong reasons. Much like the flat earthers got triggered when we tried to point out about Bob and his shortest distance between 2 points. Which I think we're going to have to go over. But I think we have to point out at first, right? We are not flat earthers. Just because we take on a challenge from somebody within a logical form doesn't mean we're trying to go against it. But I mean, it has been offered up. There is a spherical globe that has been offered up as a challenge to be able to do it, and now I think you can prove a straight line, I think, but I mean, if we can end up proving it's non-Euclidean, then that would be something too, wouldn't it? Concept of an angle. Wow. Concepts. I suppose if it works like that for you, then that's good. Shitting on your own. Who's that God? Who's that to? You think he's doing an injustice? Why would I want to look up curvilinear angles? For what purpose? The reasoning behind all of these sort of things, Kumu, I don't know why you do it. Why would I want to do that? What would be the purpose in doing that? It wasn't about that. It was about measuring an angle to a light in the sky in reality and the linear relationship. Goes with the first bit. I don't know what the first bit is. Right, so can we work that out? 69 miles. 90. Wonder whether Gords could work that one out. Wonder whether he's ever been asked to work that one out. Wonder whether any of the flat earthers have ever been asked to work that one out. Now, we were talking about that though, Kumu virus. That is a measurement to the light in the sky. Yeah. Okie dokie. Yes. Yes, Akumu virus. That's the point. All of those measurements came from a flat earth. That's what we've been told. 69 times 90 is the flat earth measurement, is it not? No, you're talking about something else again already. I don't see. We've got a gatekeeper that's triggered, Kumu virus, that's not quite understanding what's being said, and it's probably not meant for him anyway. We may as well save it because you're not quite seeing it. I'm going to play another tune and then we're going to go. Since the audience, Akumu virus, is completely messing up what we're trying to do. But I mean, that's your job, Akumu, I think. That's why you're around here. Why this arena needs people like you to do exactly what you're doing right now. Hat tip. Right. We'll see you again next week sometime.
Two paths before me, both closed like a cage. Mind split open, trapped in separate rage. No clear answer, just smoke and glaze. What's real, what's fake inside this dance? Swallowed contradictions dressed as truth. Lost in the paradox of twisted roots. Sun circles round but stands still. Reality bends, breaking my will. False dichotomy keeps pulling me in. bad choices, where to begin? Faith rises in shadows cast. Caught in the tide, will it last? Waves of doubt crashing on belief. Answers hidden, buried so deep. Light sneaks through cracks in the dark. Ignite the flame with a single spark. Proof in reality whispers soft. Clinging tight before it's lost. Eyes wide open, heart beats fast. Will this struggle ever pass? False dichotomy keeps pulling me in. Two bad choices, where to begin? Faith rises in shadows cast. Caught in the tide, will it last? False dichotomy keeps pulling me in. Two bad choices, where to begin? Faith rises in shadows cast. Caught in the tide, will it last?